Good morning, everybody. Well, I think it's like afternoon now, but welcome to today's vlog. Today isn't going to be super exciting. There's not much I have planned, but tomorrow is where the fun starts because I'm going to a book festival that's near me. And I'm gonna be hopefully meeting up with some of the girls in my book club, I think, because it starts at 10 a.m. and I think some of them are getting there at 10. So hopefully I'll be able to find them, hopefully we'll be able to meet up. But that's the plan. I think it's supposed to be like, it starts at 10. I think it goes to like 4 or 5 maybe. I could be wrong. I could be getting these times super wrong. But I'm excited to go. I'm excited to see who's gonna be there. I really haven't looked anything up about this, so I've never really gone to a book event before, so I'm like super excited. It's my first one ever, and I'm happy to take you guys along with me. But today, genuinely nothing planned. The books that I might be talking about in this, well, we're going to talk about Girl Dinner by Miss Olivia Blake, because I am currently listening to the audiobook for that, and I will be DNFing this. I'm just trying to get to 50% because I'm at like 45% right now, but I'm DNFing at 50% because I wanted to DNF it at like 10%, but like I tried to at least give it 50%. I feel the exact same way as I did at 12% as I do now at 45%. So once I get to that 50% mark, we'll chit chat and I'll give you my full thoughts on why I'm DNFing this. But other than that, I just started, I think it's called Not Your Omega, which is an Omegaverse, obviously. And it's really good. We follow our main character, Esme, who's always been in her twin sister's shadow because her twin sister is like this really well-known Omega movie star. And everyone that, or at least all the packs that she's tried to like bond with or like tried to get to know, have always wanted her sister. So they've always treated her, or expect her to be like her sister, or just because they're twins, expect her to be like kind of a stand-in and not like really wanting her. And now she finally needs a pack that they seem like they really like her. And, you know, obviously she's gonna be like the insecurities and blah, blah, blah. I think I'm like almost 100 pages in. Actually, I might be past 100 pages. I think I got past the 100 page mark this morning before I went to Pilates. So I'm about 100 pages. Granted, this is like 500 pages, which when it comes to a why choose, I'm a bit more forgiving on page length, because if this is just like a regular contemporary romance, 500 pages, no thank you. But like a why choose Omegaverse, I feel like it could work. Right now, I don't know if it can, because like I don't really know if the only conflict it seems like within their dynamic is just her insecurities. And at least for me, if the whole conflict throughout the entirety of the book is just one character being mad, insecure, and being like, well, do you really want me? Are you sure? I don't know. Do they actually, like, that's just gonna get old real quick. But we'll see how it goes. I think I could like it because I have been really wanting some more Omegaverse. I enjoy it. But I think that's really all I'll probably be reading. Actually, I do need to read, what is it called? The Lost Reliquary, because that's another arc that's coming out soon. I am like 10% into this book. Another one that I need to finish that's also 500 pages. So realistically, excuse me, I should be reading this instead of Not Your Omega because it comes out Tuesday. But I'm going to finish Not Your Omega because I think I can finish that easily, either today or tomorrow. Well, I don't know. I'm going to be busy both of these days, so we'll see. But I know I could definitely finish at least Sunday, and then I could probably get a good little chunk into the Lost Reliquary and then maybe finish it out day of. I've really not been good with my arcs. Like, I've done 2 arc videos trying to like, one I was trying to build up my NetGalley score, and the other one I was trying to get through a bunch that I had. And now I have, I think like 17 arcs. And at one point I had a bunch on my request page, and then I got approved for a bunch at once, and then I had a few left, and then like slowly those have also been getting approved. So now I have no requests in because they've all been approved at this point. So now I'm just trying to catch up. I have it all written out in my phone of like the full list of what I have to read and like what their due dates are, and I have them in order of what their, not due dates, of their publication dates. So I know what I have to read when I have to read it. I have time. Like, the arcs I have go from, the most recent ones are coming out next week, Girl Dinner, Lost Reliquary, and then pretty much throughout the rest of the year, all the way out until April, I have some arcs. So I have time. I just have not been feeling like reading arcs, which is so sad. And I actually made a post the other day about, I've learned that, at least when it comes to like TikToks, I can't go on my TikTok and be like, hey, I'm currently reading this book, especially when I'm like really early on in the book, because then for me, it starts to feel like I have to read the book because I said it, like I told people, and it was like, okay, well now I have to finish it. So it just feels like, you know, kind of like when you're in school, when you have to read something you don't want to. And that's just kind of how it is. At least with YouTube, it's not as bad because generally, even if I feel like I have to read a book, it's for a vlog. So it's not like I'm going to say, oh, I'm reading this book in this vlog. Like the vlog's not done until I finish it. So even if it takes me 6 months, like there's no real pressure because like nobody knows I'm reading it. Like you don't know the vlog's coming because I'm not telling you. So like it's not as bad, but like on TikTok, so I've learned to just not say, hey, I'm reading XYZ book unless I'm like a good chunk into it. I keep it to myself because then my mood won't change. And I feel like we're at the point I was getting to after I went off the tangent. I feel like that's kind of what's happening with the arcs is that there is a deadline and like I have to read them. Well, I don't have to, but like it is very good to read them by the deadline and have them in probably earlier than the deadline. So it just feels like there's very much that have to read, and when it has to be done, I don't feel like it, which sucks. But I want to feel like it. I want to be into it. I want to be like this. I'm really in the mood for this book. So I don't know. I feel like I might start kind of reading them out of order. I'm still going to get them done by the time the publication is ready. But I feel like I'm just going to try and pick and choose what I'm in the mood for. And then if, deadlines start creeping up, then I will make that a priority. But if I have some time, if I have some buffer, I'm just going to do what I want. I know there's no point in going in order. But anyways, we've been talking too much. I'm going to keep listening to Girl Dinner. I'm going to get through I'm probably going to get past the 50% mark because I do have to go cook. I bought this like beef chuck thing. So I'm going to make like I don't know if it's technically beef stew or just like a beef thing. I don't know. I'm putting wine in it. I don't know what it's called, but I'm making it and I made it for it. It's good. So I'm going to do that. And I think while I'm doing that, I'm probably just going to continue listening to Girl Dinner, or I might change audiobooks. We'll see. But I do know I'm going to be DNFing this. So the next clip you get is probably going to be talking shit about this book. Hello, it is hours and hours later. As I'm sure you can tell, it's basically nighttime. I think it's almost 9 p.m. and I last spoke to you at like noon. But after I like finished my grilled cheese, my sister came over and we were hanging out for the past like pretty much hours and hours. So like I haven't had any time to really update you on anything. But I did DNF Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake at around 55%. And I feel very solid in that decision. It was just so boring. Like, I already knew because I was trying to get to 50%. I was literally just listening to this audiobook to get to 50%. I didn't care. I didn't care about anything that was going on in this. It's just so uninteresting because we're following two characters, Sloane and Nina. Sloane is a professor at this university. She's a new mom, and for all of this, it's just been like in a long-running inner monologue of hers, basically talking about how much of a terrible mother she thinks she is, and then also how much she kind of low-key hates her husband because he's a really shit father. And like, we can't see that. He's terrible at it. But it's literally just over and over. Every chapter, it's either she's overthinking about, oh, I'm such a bad mom, I miss my daughter, blah, 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 blah. Or my husband doesn't do shit. He thinks he does more than he does. It's so uninteresting. I simply don't care. I don't care. And then on the flip side, we have Nina, who's a college student trying to get into this sorority, which is supposed to be I'm assuming the cannibalistic sorority, which is what this book's supposed to be about. It's a cannibalistic sorority girls. And there's been pretty much zero notion that that's even coming. And she's just talking about, going through recruitment and then being a new member and being in Greek life. And I was in Greek life in college. I went through recruitment. I did the whole thing. I was in Greek life my entire time in college and I loved it. Let me press by saying that. I loved my time in Greek life. I had a great time. I so do not want to read about it. It was so uninteresting, so boring. I'm like, been there, done that. I don't care to read about someone else just going through Greek life. Like, that's all that's interesting. And I'm pretty sure even people who haven't gone through Greek life don't give a shit about reading about someone going through recruitment and going through the new member process. Like, who cares? I don't. And then, what else? That's really all that's been going on. And then I feel like both of them are like lusting after these random ass people. Like, someone's lusting after a TSA, kind of. Don't know if that's going to go anywhere. Actually don't care. Nina's lusting after a professor and the president of the sorority. And I stopped at 55%. And I think I mentioned that in other reviews, it said around 60%, I think, is when the cannibalism is supposed to start and where it gets interesting for most people. And I made it all the way to 55%. I just simply don't care. I shouldn't have to read 60% of your book to not be fucking bored. Like, this book reads like a really boring literary fiction. Like, there's nothing about it that is even slightly horror at this point. And I'm sorry, I'm a big believer that, yeah, I could read 5% more and then I might start enjoying it more. But if the first 60% suck, like I'm not going to I shouldn't have to read 60% of your book for it to get even slightly interesting. And even people that finished it don't seem to think that, yeah, I got interesting at 60%, but not interesting enough for them to actually like the book, you know? And from other reviews, I was seeing that while we do get the cannibalism, it's more talked about than actually shown. So again, you bring in the interesting bit, but somehow still make it fucking boring. Like, I can't. It's so boring. It's so uninteresting. I just don't care about anyone in this book. And the book is supposed to talk about like feminism and the patriarchy. And I don't know, like it feels very surface level. It feels like intro to feminism 101, you know? Like that's what I'm getting. And I just simply don't care. Which I think was intentional on the author's part because she was writing from two very privileged women's point of view and she's showing that, but like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, how many times did I say I don't care? I don't care at all. This is so, like, I made a TikTok about this and I said the only horror I felt while reading this book was horrifically bored. That's it. It's so boring, so uninteresting. Sorry. I don't know, like there are other Olive Blakes that I feel like I want to give a chance. I may try and read Atlas 6 again, because I did try and read it at one point. I did DNF that audiobook as well. But that one I feel like was more I wasn't in the mood, more less than I wasn't enjoying the book, you know? So I might give that one another shot. I know she has a bunch of other stuff. I think, what is it? One for My Enemy is one that people recommend, but I think that's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, which I don't really like Romeo and Juliet retellings. So probably not going to do that one. Master of Death seems interesting, so maybe I'll give that one a try. I do own Alone with You in the Ether, so I think that's one that I will definitely give a shot because I have it and I've heard good things about it. I don't know if I'm actually gonna like it, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts. As my first Olive Blake, this was not it. This ish was boring. So boring. However, if this sounds interesting to you, I say give it a shot because while I feel like a lot of people disliked this book, there are some good reviews. So I don't know, maybe if you're an Olive Blake girl, you're an Olive Blake stan, this might work for you. However, one of my mutuals says she loves Olive Blake, but she hated this book. So I really say give it a shot. You might hate it, you might love it, who knows. But for me, I simply don't care about either of these characters or either of their stories. I just find both to be so incredibly uninteresting. And the book is just so boring. And sorry, I shouldn't have to read like 150 plus pages. I don't actually know how long this book is. I think it's around 300. So 150 to 200 pages for there to be a semblance of plot because there is none in this book. Nothing's happening. We're not even really getting hints to the cannibalism that's coming in. Like there's no hints, there's no nothing. Like the most we've kind of been given is while I think they had a sorority dinner and she was just talking about how they seem to be like really into the food. It's weird. Like they're all just like they love it and like the food is so good here and it's amazing. And that's really it. And here's the thing, if you didn't know this book is about cannibalism, that really doesn't allude to anything either. And then also they're told not to go to the kitchen, like it's off limits. That's it. That's all that's been alluded to. And I'm like, we're not even getting a hint that the cannibalism's coming. So I'm like, so you're just gonna drop, because I'm 5% away from when supposedly it's supposed to be introduced. So you're just gonna drop this in out of nowhere? Like, I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm done talking about it. I've been rambling about this for forever, but this was just so uninteresting and so boring. And I don't know. Give it a shot if you think it's interesting. I didn't. So yeah. But that's all I've really got to say for tonight. I didn't really do much today. Like I said, I was hanging out with my sister for most of the day, so that's what was going on. That's why I didn't really talk to you much. But tomorrow is the book festival, so I will try to hopefully talk to you before I get there. We'll see what happens. Or maybe you'll just get some B-roll of the day, B-roll of me getting there. I don't know. I'm driving there by myself. I'm hoping to meet up with people there. So hopefully I can figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go. And there's supposed to be like different events and everything going on all day. So I don't know where exactly I want to be, but I'm excited to go. I'm excited to be there. So hopefully I really enjoy it. Oh, I just remembered I've got a Pilates class at 7 a.m. So I've still got an early class to get to. And then the book festival starts at 10. So hopefully I can get there early, get some I don't really know what to expect to the book event. Like, I don't know. I think it's just talk. I don't know. I've never been to a book event before, so, like, I literally have no idea what to expect at this book event. But I hope it's going to be fun. I hope I have a good time. I want to see what's going on. And hopefully it'll be a good time. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is supposed to be there. I think she's, like, the headliner. I don't know if that's what's called in book events, but, like, concerts, she's like the the name that's drawing people in. So she's gonna be there. I think she's doing a talk on what, I don't know, but she's talking about something. And there's gonna be a bunch of other authors there. So I'm hoping I will see some that I know, because I was trying to glance through the authors list. There's a lot, but so I saw like a few that like kind of vaguely jogged my memory, but I'm hoping I see a few more that I know, that I like, but we'll see. But I will talk to you tomorrow and we'll see how the day goes. Hello guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I am walking to the convention center now. Try not to talk too loud. There are people around me. There are a lot of cars. Ooh, I think I found it. Thank God. It's hot as hell out here. A 12-minute walk, which I was not expecting to have. I thought they'd have a shuttle. They didn't. So here we are. We're almost there though. I see tents at least, so I think that's a good sign. Thank God we're not where she was expected to be walking around like this. Oop, we found it. Ooh, God, it looks like there's a long line. All right, let's hope for the best.
Okay, so to my left, we have Axio. I love you. Emily Howard. Zoraida Cordova. JC Lee. And Bridget Kimmerer.
I am leaving the book fest now. My phone's like literally about to die, so we gotta keep this short and sweet. But I'm walking back to the parking garage. You can probably tell because I'm out of breath. But oh my God, this is the best day ever. I had so much fun. We'll talk when I either get back to my car or get back to my apartment, but this was amazing. I'm back at the parking garage. I still have to go up the steps, but we made it back. I don't actually know if you can hear me. It's like mad loud with all these cars, but today was amazing. I saw so many author panels, and everyone I saw at the panels I hadn't read from before. I think the only person I'd read from, actually I've read from Richard Kemmer, but I didn't know that I'd read from Richard Kemmer. And then I've read Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I didn't see her panel. We'll get the full breakdown when I'm not out of breath, but it was so much fun. Like, I've never been to one before, and I see so many people that go, and I'm always like, oh, that would be fun, but you know, whatever. And to be honest, I was like wishy-washy as if I would go to this, because my book club, I think, is the one that told me about it, which I didn't see anyone there, but that's fine. But I'm so happy I went. Now I want to go to so many more. Like, I need to find all of the book events, author panels that are happening in Vegas, or you know, Utah, somewhere around that's close, that I can go and see more of these authors. But I'm just walking up to my car now. Oh God, I'm so out of breath. Clearly my cardio is shit. We'll talk when I'm back in my apartment, when I've charged everything and oh God. Hello, we're back at the apartment. It is the end of the book festival day. I am so tired, guys. I walked so much. I don't even know like how many Let's see, can I see how many steps I actually walked? Damn, not that much, only 7,000. It felt like more. It was definitely more. I did a lot of walking because I had to walk from the parking garage all the way over to where the book festival was. However, I didn't realize that the parking garage was like the further one because there was one closer. And when you got closer, there was like traffic trying to get in. So it was definitely easier to get into the other one. I just didn't realize I had to walk all the way. Granted, there said there was supposed to be a shuttle to take people over. I did not see said shuttle. So I just started walking over because other people were walking over as well. So I just said, fuck it, we're gonna walk. So let's talk about what happened throughout the day. And then I'll show you all the stuff that I got. So when I first got there, I think I was probably like, it started and I guess opened up at 10. And I got there probably around 10:10, right when other people were going in. And for the first 250 people, they were giving little totes. Let me flip this. So Las Vegas Book Festival, they were handing these out. So I got one because I was one of the early ones there, which was super exciting. And at first I just kind of walked around because I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't look at the schedule. I didn't do anything. Like I said, this is my first ever book festival or like book event. So I went in with like zero knowledge of actually what was going on. Like I didn't really get the panels thing and everything. Like I've never been to any sort of like event like this. So I just kind of walked around trying to see what was what. And then I did actually go and finally like look at the schedule and see like who was going to be where, what was happening. And I saw that they had a panel to talk about fantasy. And the authors that were on this panel, the moderator was, and when we're talking about them, I can pull their books out. Ooh, actually, before I get into that, when I first walked in, I went to this author's like booth, Mia Heintzman, because I remember seeing this specific book on NetGalley, and I was like, that sounds really interesting. But I think at the time, either the book was about to come out, like it was really close to the published date, so I didn't get it, and I just had like a lot of other things to read. But I saw this cover of me, I was like, oh, I want to try that. And then I met her, and she was so sweet. She was so nice. Oh my god, I love her. And I picked up this one, and she was basically like, I think it takes place in Atlanta, I want to say, and it was like she's a debutante, and well, she's divorced now because it was like she married this person that like everyone in like their community, their society thought that she should marry. And I think this is a second chance with the person that she would have married had it kind of been up to her and like all the outside pressure hadn't come in. But she said it's also like really messy because, you know, it's these like kind of wealthy people just being messy. And I was like, I love mess, so I'm here for it. So I got this. I took a picture with her as well, so that was great. But Mia Heinzelman was the moderator for the fantasy panel. And the ones on the panel were, let me go down, can't remember what order they were in, was Axio, Amelie, what's her last name? I got her book. Amelie Howard, Zoraida Cordova, JC Lee, and Bridget Kemmerer. And their panel was so good. Like I said, I went to this with like zero expectations of like what was gonna happen. And I really, like, I loved their whole panel. They were just talking about like, you know, their process and really talking about like fantasy and what they love about fantasy. And it definitely leaned more into romantasy. Like that's what they were kind of talking about, that's what they're focusing on. And a lot of them, that's kind of like what they love. They love a romantasy, even they love like fantasy that has like a subplot of romance, but they feel like they really very much are into like the romance aspect of it, which I love, you know, too. And I don't know, I just really loved that panel. It was really good. And I really enjoyed hearing, you know, them talk about fantasy and their writing process. Like JC Lee, she was one that was there, and she has a romantasy series that she said is like guaranteed to cure your deep K-pop Demon Hunter hangover. I haven't watched that, but I kind of want to now, and I really do want to read that series. They ran out, the people that were selling books, they didn't have any of the copies of this, but I want to try and get some. And she had a, what is the word I'm looking for? Metaphor? Is it metaphor? Like she had a metaphor for like her writing process. And she's like, you know, I think it's in like Sweden or Switzerland, they have that like event every year where they throw that like roll of cheese down a hill and everyone's like running after it. She's like, that's kind of like my writing process, you know. I have kind of the characters, that's the cheese, the basic plot points, that's me wrapping up the cheese, and then I just kind of throw it and go. Like she's not really one to like do a really detailed outline or plan anything out, because she's like, when she does that, she like couldn't write after that. Like she didn't write for 2 months because she'd had so much detail. She just needs to like go and do it. And I was like, you know what? That's so interesting. But like Zoraida Cordova, very much the opposite. She was like, she's that meme from Always Sunny where he has like all the cork board with all the things connected. She's like, that's her like planning process. She has everything planned out and she has everything put up on the wall, and she uses these like her little Funko Pop figurines to like plan out like battle scenes and stuff. So I thought it was just really interesting to hear how differing their writing process is and just to hear what their writing process is. So I loved that. And originally when I went to that panel, they did a signing afterwards. So I was like, okay, cool, awesome. I'll get in line for the signing. Because it's my first event and like I apparently lack thought process, I was like, oh, they'll probably have books there and I can just get books from them at the signing. Incorrect. No, you had to bring books for them to sign, which I'm pretty sure is the standard. But again, this is my first book event, okay? I didn't know. I was vibing, okay? So I didn't have books and I was like, well, I don't want to get on a line because the line was pretty long. And the line to buy books was so long. Like I didn't buy books until the end, until the line got shorter because the line was literally like around the building. So she was like, well, you can get them to sign anything. So I said, why don't I just get them to sign my bag? And I did. And they were all so sweet. They were all so nice. So this one up here is Axio's. I can't see that from the side. This one is JC Lee's. This one on the black one is down here is Bridget Kemmerer. And this one is Amelie's. So I got this on my bag. So like this bag means so much to me now. Like it's my freebie from the book fest and I got it signed by all the authors. I love it. But now the important part, what you want to see, the book haul. So yes, like I said, I got The Divorce Tante by Miss Mia Heinzelman. Again, love her. From the, actually, I didn't even, oh, well, we'll talk about the haul of the authors from the first panel. From the first panel, I got, I'm missing one. From Amelie Howard, I got The Starlight Heir. She said this is a why choose romance. I think it's Hindu and Indian inspired or based on Indian mythology. So I was like, that sounds awesome. I love a why choose. I love a well, I can't say I love romance. I can like romance every now and again. So I wanted to pick up her book because I just really loved their panel. So like I really wanted this panel and like the next panel I went to, I just really wanted to get their books and like read it. So I like obviously they only really gave like cliff notes of what each book was about, but I really want to give it a shot. If you're interested, The Starlight Heir. And then from Bridget Kemmerer, which fun fact, before I went, I was like, oh, I've never read from any of the authors. I actually have read from Bridget Kemmerer. I read her, I think it's called Elemental series. And I read this back in like middle school or high school, but I loved this series. It's about a group of brothers and like their best friend. And like they each have an elemental power. And obviously like, you know, they have a love interest as well. But like there's some like shady society that's like trying to kill them. And they're just trying to like live their lives and go to high school, you know? 10 out of 10, really like that. But I haven't read anything else from her since then. So like I never read the A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. I think she has something else that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But I did finally get Warrior Princess Assassin. I've been wanting to read this for a while. And I've seen this one is, I can't remember if it's Why Choose or Polyamorous. I think they're all together. A warrior, a princess, an assassin. I think the princess assassin were like childhood friends and like he's in love with her. But then she goes off to marry the warrior king. And then he goes after her and then they all end up together, I guess. I don't know. But I've seen so many of my mutuals on TikTok seem to really enjoy this. And I've seen very good reviews on this. So I really wanted to give it. And they had this sprayed edge version, which is beautiful, stunning, amazing. So I copped her. I didn't get these signed because like I said, when I went through originally, I didn't have books. So I just went back and got the other books. But yeah, like I said, this is the series, the Elemental series. And those are the names of the books here. That's the series I read. I don't think I ever ended up finishing the last one, but I read most of the series. And then, like I said, I did want to get JC Lee's fantasy series, but they didn't have it. But I did get another book, but we'll talk about when I talk about the contemporary romances. But for Axio, I got The Floating World, which she said is like Studio Ghibli kind of inspired. It has that vibe. And I don't know, it sounded, again, really fun, really interesting. I think she said Studio Ghibli meets Final Fantasy, and now I have zero experience with either of those because I don't think I've ever seen a Studio Ghibli sim, nor have I ever played Final Fantasy, but I was like, it sounds fun, you know, I love a fun fantasy world, so I feel like that's gonna give me this. And then they also had the sequel, which is The Demon and the Light, and this doesn't come out until Tuesday, so they had some early copies there. This isn't like an ARC or anything, this is the final copy, but I decided to get both because, you know, why not? I like getting books early. And she said I think this one has much more like romance in it, so I'm excited for both of these. I hope I really like them. And then well, I went to the panel for I think it's the like Disney reimagined romance series with like Jasmine Guillory, Christina Lauren, Jessie Escutanto. I went to that panel. I don't know if I want to read this series. They had the whole like box set for it. I still don't know if I want to read it because I've seen a lot of it and they don't have the greatest reviews. So I don't know. So I didn't buy it and I didn't go to their signing, but I did sit in on their panel and it was fun to see them because Zoraida Cordova was also there. I really like her. She's fun. I love her thought process. I love how she writes. I really vibe with her. She's cool. But then after that, the third panel that I went to, which is the final panel I went to, was, I think it was called The Lady and the Bard. And it was talking about the three authors, Nikki Payne, Priscilla Oliveris, and J.C. Lee. They all have written romances that are like retellings of Jane Austen and Shakespeare, like their popular works, and they were kind of talking about, you know, why and how and like what their favorite plays / books were, and they were asking a lot of questions around that, and I really loved that panel as well. Honestly, all of these were so good. I don't know, I think like this is my first time really ever watching like authors talk about their craft and talk about, you know, their process and like why they write these things and like what motivated them, and I just loved hearing it. I just loved kind of being in their heads for a second. It was so fun. I loved it so much. Like I literally, I want to see if I can find more events. I need another one. I'm willing to travel to go to another one because it was so much fun. And I didn't end up meeting up with anyone for my book club, so it was just me there by myself all day. But I never felt like lonely. I never felt like, oh, I don't have anyone to talk to or anything. I was having a blast. I had so much fun. So this is your motivation. If you want to go to a book event and you only have yourself, go by yourself. You'll have fun. You don't need anybody else. You'll have so much fun alone. But the books that I got, let's talk about J.C. Lee because we mentioned her in the last one. I got Give Me a Reason, which I think is oh my God, what is this a retelling of? I'm already forgetting what these are retellings of. Actually, no, I know the other two. What is this retelling? This is Jane Austen. Because they were talking about so many different things that now I'm like, I can't remember which one exactly this was a retelling of. She was talking about Frederick. Oh, it says it right here on the back. Maybe I should learn to read. This is a modern retelling of Jane Austen's Persuasion, but it's like a K-drama version of Persuasion. So I'm really interested in reading this, and I did get it signed and personalized. From JC, and then she stamped it because I believe in Korea they have like signature stamps, and she had one, so she stamped it with the signature stamp. She was like, I'm very proud of it, and I was like, that's so cool. And then I got the next book, West Side Love Story, which is the first book in this series by Priscilla Oliveris. I also really enjoyed this. This one is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but the way she did this series, it's kind of like it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it's also a West Side Story retelling because like West Side Story is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So it's kind of elements of Romeo and Juliet and elements of West Side Story, but around a mariachi band. And I think it follows a family of 9 sisters, but they're all like adopted. They all came to them like through foster care, and they're all like mariachi artists. I was like, that sounds so fun and so good. And all of her books are closed door, like she told us. So if you're a person who likes closed door romances, this could work for you. But I'm very interested to read this one. And then her other one is Kiss Me Catalina, which is a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew / Call Me Kate, Kiss Me Kate, which is a Broadway play. I've never heard of Kiss Me Kate, but love to hear about it. So, but I think she does these in a way that like it's Romeo and Juliet retelling and a West Side Story retelling, but this one, you know, they do have happily ever after. And the last book is Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne. I have seen this book around before, and I feel like this was popular a little bit ago. Oh, it's part of Allie Hazelwood. Maybe I'll like this because I do like Allie Hazelwood. But I honestly don't know obviously it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I really have no idea what the premise of this one is because I don't think she really went into detail on what this one was, but it is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. She has another one, I think it's Sex, Lies, and Sensibility, which is a Sense and Sensibility retelling. And then her newest book is something Protect Me PI or something PI. That one I did see on NetGalley, and it's another one that I didn't end up getting because, again, by the time I joined Net, it was way too close to the publishing date, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just request something else, you know? So I'm excited to read this, and I'm excited to read all the other ones, and I absolutely adored this event. Like, I went into this with, like, 0 expectations, and I'm actually so shocked at just how much I loved it and how fun it was and how much of a great time it was. So now I'm like, I want to go to all the other events, you know? And the Las Vegas Book Festival, free. It's free entry, so it's free. You can, all the panels and stuff are free. So the only thing I spent money on were the books, and then I had to pay for parking. Oh, and I tried a homemade root beer from this brewing company. Granted, it tastes like regular old like A&W, so whether or not it's actual root beer, I don't know, but it tasted like generic ass root beer. It was good. I like root beer, but I don't know. But today was such an amazing day. I was so nervous going out because, again, like, I was supposed to meet up with my book club, and I was like, oh, I hope I can meet them because, you know, I'm gonna be alone all day. So and I left at like 3 because I wasn't gonna go to the Taylor Jenkins Reid one, even though I have read from Taylor Jenkins Reid before, and I have enjoyed her work. The line for the Taylor Jenkins Reid talk was it wrapped, like, the way this was set up, there's all these like openings, it like went down and then wrapped this way and then wrapped back around and then was wrapped. It was so long. I was like, I don't need to see this talk that much. And I could just imagine how long the line for the signing would be. And I was like, I'm good. I'm actually so good. No, thank you. I did not have the hankering to need to go in there. Because even when I went for the Disney Meant to Be series, that was in the same room that Taylor Jenkins Reid was doing her talk in. That was already full. Like, all the seats were taken in that, but there was a lot of standing room. And I think I just like sat on the floor in the corner where like a lot of people were just sitting. But like, with the amount of people that were waiting to get into Taylor, and that line started like an hour or two before even her talk was supposed to happen. If I had gone in there, I don't even think there would have been standing room. And sorry, I was not willing. I didn't want to go. Sorry. I wasn't that in need of seeing her talking to me, which I feel like I would have enjoyed it. Like, I feel like I would have liked hearing her process and all that stuff, and like the questions people have, because I'm sure they would have asked a lot about like Atmosphere, which is her newest release. But I was good. I'm sorry, I'm good. No thank you. But final update, I think, in regards to what I'm reading, I'm gonna be honest, guys, not much. Not Your Omega. I don't know what happened in between now and the last time I talked to you. I think I've read maybe like a chapter more. I don't know, like, the pages I'm reading are giving me, like, it's giving me the ick so bad. I don't know, it just feels like it feels very insta-lovey. Like, it feels like they're already like, oh yeah, we want to be with you, we're so obsessed with you, blah, blah, blah. And like, they're not just the way they're talking with each other. She's like, I feel like I'm just like so obsessed with your scents, and I can't stop thinking about you. And it's like literally in this scene, I'm like, they met like an hour ago, and it's giving me the ick, and I don't like it. And I'm like, maybe I just need to like get past this scene, and then it'll stop feeling like this, hopefully. But I don't know, but I was really enjoying that. Like, I'm only 97 pages, I'm not even 100 pages in. This book is 500 plus pages. So I'm like, I can't be getting the ick this early, this soon into the book, because I still got like 400 more pages to go. So I'm hoping when I finish this chapter out, maybe it'll feel less cringy, but it feels incredibly fucking cringy right now, and I'm not enjoying that aspect of it. Other than that, I think that's it. The Lost Reliquary, I read like a page or two when I was at the book event, when I was just waiting for the next panel to start, because my phone was close to dying, and I was like, I need to do something that's not going to drain my battery. I read a few more pages. I'm enjoying this. This was described as, I think it's Gideon the Ninth meets the God Killer, and I do see that comparison, at least for Gideon the Ninth. I've never read the God Killer, so I can't really speak to that. But for Gideon the Ninth, I get it, like the way she acts and like kind of her like snarky attitude is what I feel like really is that parallel. Right now, that snarky attitude, like, because like they just ran into, I don't know, these like, they're very big people where they're from, and they're going on this like quest to find something for the like high priestess of where they're from, because she's like, I don't know, I'm not explaining this well, but I don't really need to get into it. Anyways, they're like on the road, and they see, I don't know, like warriors or something from a different country, and like where outside of their little kingdom, they're like, they have no title, they're not shit, you know. And she was just kind of like, her little snarky mouth was running out, and I'm like, time and place, girl. Like, I get, like, it's funny when you're doing it with the other people, but like, you're about to get your ass beat. Like, you're out here, like, you have no protection. I don't know in this world if they could just like behead people or some shit, but like, maybe, and like, even the guy who's with her, who's her companion, is like, yeah, maybe shut the fuck up for once. I didn't say that. He said it in a more nuanced way. I don't think nuanced is the right word there, but he said it in a better way. But like, basically, he was like, yeah, well, shut the fuck up next time. How will we do that? How will we do that? And then she was getting defensive about it. We're like, well, like, when I was like, I don't know. He's right now, it's not giving snarky funny. It's giving snarky irritating. But before, it was snarky funny. When she was being snarky to like the instructors and stuff like that, that was snarky funny. Now it's like, time and place. time and place. But you know, maybe that's just, she's learning, okay? But anyways, I think that's all I have for this video. Today was amazing. I didn't get to talk to you much during it because like there was just so many people around and like so much was going on and I was doing so much. But today was amazing. I cannot wait to find more events and go to more events because I've caught the bug, I've drunk the Kool-Aid, like I'm in. I cannot wait for the next one. And I suggest if there's a book event near you, buy the damn ticket and go. Like you're gonna have so much fun. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to the book event and seeing what I saw. So I hope to see you at my next video. And please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.